I'm here today to talk to you about how to make a proper protein shake. So a lot of people are actually getting it wrong. Before I do that real quick, hello, I'm Danielle Atcheson. I am a certified nutritionist, a lifestyle medicine specialist, and a board certified health and wellness coach. So now let's get into how do we make a proper protein shake. So first of all, what does that even mean when I say proper protein shake? A protein shake needs to have three things. These are protein, fiber, and fat. And when you have those three things together, then you're able to feel satiated, so you won't be hungry between the time that you took the shake and your next meal. You won't have a blood sugar crash, and you'll just overall just feel better. So let's talk about what the three components, protein, fiber, and fat, are. So protein, first off, would be a protein powder. And for this, I use a vegan plant-based protein powder because it is less inflammatory than other like whey dairy-based products that you're going to find on the market. So that's what I use for mine. Also for then the protein, we're going to be getting that from our greens that we'll be adding in, our super greens. Next, we have fiber. So fiber we'll also be getting from these super greens, and then also from our frozen berries. And then our frozen berries will be giving us some additional antioxidants and vitamins and such as well. And then last but not least is fat. Fat we're going to get from either using like a form of a nut milk, adding in a whole nut, so like the almonds. We can get that from our chia seeds. We can get that from an avocado, from using an butter like the almond butters or a cashew butter, or if we're using an MCT coconut oil. So let's now get into how to actually make a protein shake. So now we understand that we have our components of protein, fiber, and fats. Let's see them all come together. So for a blender, I like to use the NutriBullet. I own a Ninja, I own a Vitamix, but I really like this one for when I make these shakes because it has a single serving. And so what we're going to do is actually make everything in this cup, blend it up right here, and then we're just going to drink it directly. So really makes for a lot less cleanup, which is why I like to have it. It's just super easy. I just keep it on my counter. So I make this shake every morning. All right, so let's get into it. So here is my cup. One of the first things I want to do is put in a handful of our greens. And the greens I like to do, I like these big containers. Just that way you can have it for your salads, for lunch, and with dinner, and then also have a ton that you can add into your shakes in the morning. You can also do shakes for lunch as well if you're doing this for weight loss. Okay, so one of the things you do in your greens, you kind of massage them a little bit. It will break them up to then to really release some of the phytochemicals that are in it. So I just do a little bit, good amount. So putting this about half. So that will be then our fiber and our protein. Then I'm going to then do my berries. Now, what I like about the berries is that doing frozen berries is these also double as your ice. So I'm not adding ice into this particular shake. You can if you want, if that's your personal preference, but it's not for me. All right, so now I'm doing about 2 scoops of my frozen berries. What's key when you talk about adding fruit into a protein shake is that it needs to be a low glycemic fruit. We don't want to have anything that's going to be spiking our blood sugar. So what is a low glycemic fruit? So that would be anything that really falls in the berry family, anything that's tart. So like a green apple, for example, would be considered low glycemic, while anything that's sweet, so like a red apple, for example, would be high glycemic. So we want to stay away, if we're doing this for weight loss, we want to stay away from the higher glycemic fruit. So stick with your berries, stick with your tart apples, stay away from bananas, mangoes, etc. And I'll talk about why in a second. But for this, I'm adding in then my berries. And then next, what I'm going to do is I want to add in some healthy fat. And so I'm going to actually go right in with almonds, because what's a better way of making almond milk than directly from the almonds themselves? I'm going to throw some of those in there. I could also throw in some chia seeds. We can do some ground flax. Flax seeds, these are actually not ground, but they'll get ground in the blender. You can do half of an avocado. Bleh. You can also do half of an avocado to add in the fat, or a favorite is also a creamy almond butter or cashew butter, and I prefer almond butter. What's key, actually, real quick, on if you do decide to do an almond butter, is that it only contains almonds. So you can't see it, but right here it says ingredients: raw, organic almonds. There are a lot of butters on the market that contain salt and added sugar, and so you definitely want to stay away from those. So before you buy these, definitely look at the ingredient label on the back. And then for my healthy fat for this, instead of doing an avocado, I'm going to go easy today. I'm going to actually use my MCT oil. Real quick, MCT oil means medium chain triglycerides. It is a derivative of coconut oil. It is not the same as coconut oil. So do not use coconut oil in your shake. And actually, I would limit your use of coconut oil in general. But you can use an MCT oil, and that's just going to help you with that's additional just healthy fat. It's also great when you're making a shake on the go. To have some that's handy. So I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of that. And again, you could have done your almond butter or your avocado. All right, so next, I'm then going to add in my protein powder. My particular protein powder is 2 scoops for 1 serving, so that's why I have my 2 little scoopers here. Again, it's good to look for a plant-based protein powder because it is non-inflammatory. Dairy-based ones like whey-based can be inflammatory to many individuals. We can then also, for our liquid, for a couple options, you can do water, specifically filtered water. And then you can also do a nut milk. I kind of like to do a combination of the two. One of the brands that I'm really liking when it comes to almond milk is this Milk brand. Another one that I like a lot is called New Barn. Both of those only contain 3 ingredients. This is water, almonds, and Himalayan salt. So you really can't get, unless you make it yourself, it's a pretty pure product. Definitely, you want to make sure that you don't get a one with sugar added. So you always are looking for an unsweetened. And then when it comes to water, you want to make sure that your water is filtered. This is a brand that I like called Clearly Filtered. But what you want to do is in here, I'm going to add in about 8 ounces of liquids. I'm just going to do a nice mix of the water and then the almond milk. And you can really just add as much liquid as you want based on your personal preference. So, and then if you want it to be creamier, you can then add ice in as well. So it really is no real recipe for that part, right? Where it's more of, as long as you have your protein, your fiber, and fat, that's what matters. And then the rest, you can just sort of add whatever you want into here. So I'm going to go ahead and shake this up. So again, this has my greens, my frozen berries, some almonds, some almond milk, and then my healthy fat. This time I use the MCT oil. Okay, so I'm just going to shake it up a little bit just to make sure the protein powder got mixed up a little bit. All right, so this is going to be a little bit loud, but I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds, blend it all up. It didn't even need to be 30 seconds. So there we are. So now we have our protein shake. And what I love about these single-use blenders is that, whoops, excuse me, is that I can now keep it in this container and take it and go. And I'm out the door with this. So that is how you make a proper protein shake. Remember, you always need to have your protein, your fiber, and your healthy fats. So that was just my simple go-to recipe of the berries and greens. Oh, one thing I totally forgot to talk to you about was workout recovery shakes. Now, I mentioned about the berries that you want to keep everything low glycemic when it comes to your fruit in your shake. The only exception to that is if after you've done like a hard workout. So good 1 hour, vigorous workout where you sweated a lot, etc. That would be when you would want to have a high glycemic fruit added into your shake so that you can then replenish the sugars that your muscles lost when you were working out. And so that's the only time that you can have a higher glycemic fruit or banana, like mango, red apple in your shake. The rest of the time, you really should keep it to the low glycemic, especially if you're doing wanting to lose weight. And then something else, another trick, coconut water. So coconut water is a great thing that you can add into your shake, and in place of the water and the almond milk, you can do the coconut water to replenish your electrolytes. It's also a great trick as well for the recovery shakes. So that's a little tip on those. If you like this video, welcome you to come over to my Facebook group, 1 Degree Health Shifters, where I share a lot of health and wellness trainings on Wellness Wednesdays. And so hope to see you over there, and have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thanks.